Some seasons in life are about taking that leap of faith and closing doors. As I navigate the heartbreak of saying goodbye to a life that felt familiar, I also find myself at the dawn of a new chapter. And in this transition, I am finding the courage to see endings as beautiful stepping stones of my becoming, to gift myself closure and be my own safe space as I piece by piece reclaim myself back to wholeness. To have been navigating through such challenging times during pregnancy and then as a new mama has been no easy feat. To take such a decision at this time has stretched me far beyond, but I wish my daughter to grow up in the witness of a woman who chooses and stands up for herself despite all societal conditionings. I wish her to have the courage to choose her heart and her strength, even if that means she may need to go about paving her own unique path alone for a time. And so some seasons in life are about reclaiming yourself and choosing for a life that honors you in every single intricate way. So I've been navigating through a closing of a really big chapter in my life with my daughter's father, and I feel like so many people are currently experiencing very similar parallels, lots of closings of chapters, and I've been witnessing a lot of mamas as well going through this, and honestly my heart just felt called to create this video and share basically my field notes on navigating heartbreak and endings during this pivotal time in this human realm. I guess as a new mama, I really started to feel how real every decision I take is, and I don't want to use the word weight of responsibility, because in no way does it feel like a weight. It feels rather like an honor to be entrusted with such beautiful responsibility. But with that being said, I guess when my daughter was born, it just reflected back to me how impactful and how important it is to be so intricate and so concise about every experience, every person, anything that I let into my life. And when my daughter was born, she just reflected back such a powerful force of love that showed me what wasn't in that same resonance and that same frequency. I feel like sharing about this feels so intimate and so vulnerable. My moon is in Cancer, but it's in the 10th house, so it makes a lot of sense that I feel called to share such personal things and my heart onto the internet. But with that being said, I don't feel like it's necessary for me to go into the details or go into my story. I feel like that's for me, and that's my personal life. But I guess all in all, the main point is I really wish to weave a life for my daughter where she never even has to know what it means to compromise her own needs or her own worth or her own strength for someone else or for something outside of herself. And so with that being said, I've been being called to step up in every single way and see where in any ways and any places where I've compromised my needs and my worth, and make those changes. I feel a lot of grief and ache in my heart. I've been processing what I wasn't able to process, what my nervous system wasn't able to hold back when I was pregnant, but is able to finally hold now. And let me tell you, it's been a process. It hasn't been always so easeful, but I've been on this journey enough to know the importance of allowing myself to feel what needs to be felt, to just dive into those feelings and to be with them, to sit with them, to breathe through them, and to ultimately just allow each emotion to play its rhythm through me, to know that I am not my anger, that I'm not my sadness, that I'm not my grief, but it's really just a rhythm, a beat that needs to play in this moment in time, and once it's played its song, it's done. And to be so unafraid to go there and to be there and to sit with that has ultimately been my process. I sometimes feel a bit challenged as a mom of a 4-month-old to really have that space and time like I used to have to be able to go into such processes. But I've been learning to really let that go and to see that I can move through everything that I need to move through just as easily in such a short amount of time. And honestly, my daughter has been holding me through this all. It's just been such an incredible experience and such a different. I've been moving through things in such a different way than I used to. As I move through all that I'm moving through, I've just found it so important for me to communicate everything with my daughter. I feel like society carries this belief that children don't know any better, but that is so not true. They feel everything. They feel probably more than you're even able to feel and are able to allow yourself to feel. And so they feel everything. They feel the undercurrents. They feel the undercurrents, and they can understand everything. And being a child of divorce myself, when I was about 3 years old, no one ever told me anything. And so I was feeling all these things. I was witnessing all of this happen without anyone explaining what was going on to me. And at some point, I started to create this belief that maybe it was my fault that all of that happened. And that is a really heavy burden to carry for a child. And having been through that experience, I made so sure of it that my daughter wouldn't have to experience that, and to just be so open and honest in what I'm moving through. I don't tell her, of course, all the nitty-gritty details, but I speak to her about the big picture. But more than anything, I explain to her and express to her what I feel in every moment. If I'm feeling grief, if I'm feeling ache, if I'm feeling anger, instead of just pretending like that's not there, I express that to her and I let her know, hey, Mama's feeling this, all is well, but this is what it is, and we can breathe through this and we can be here together with it. I hold space for her as I do that, and let her know that there's nothing wrong in feeling these emotions, and that it's safe and that it's okay, and it's just a different nuance to life. With that being said, being a child who was, played that role in a parent separation, it's been so hard not to project my inner child experiences and my inner child emotions onto my daughter in this time. But with all that's been surfacing, I know that choosing what's best for me and healthiest for me is ultimately going to be the best for her to be able to witness a woman and a mother have the courage to stand up for herself and to choose a path of her own, and ultimately choose herself. That is what I wish to role model for my daughter. And yeah, it's definitely been scary. It's definitely been a leap of faith, but it's been a really beautiful process. At the end of the day, I know that my daughter chose us as her parents on a soul level. Whenever I tune into her soul and I speak to her soul, I know that if anything, she already knew this. She already saw this coming. I know that it's all just unfolding so perfectly, and I just know that she chose us, and she chose me as her mother, because I would weave a life for her that she would need for her own life path and her own life purpose. And so I think that's been such a huge anchor for me throughout this whole experience. Anyways, I hope that this video can simply reflect back to you even a moment of not feeling alone if you're moving through similar experiences and going through a transition phase in your life, an ending of something and a beginning of something. I hope that this video can just make you feel a little less alone, or maybe offer you a different perspective that can give you some insight into your own inner unravelings. Either way, wherever you are and in whatever season in life you're in, I'm sending you so much love.